Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well.
Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks on a rainy Wednesday. Rain's going to stay with us again today and then warm up tomorrow. Sun comes out and we have a good few days. The rain will be back Saturday for a brief time as it cools us down from the high 80s to the mid 70s on the weekend. Galen Udall from Lifestyle joins me as he does every day, brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and JustShip.net. Galen, we needed the rain because of the fire. The fire was moderate. Now it's low again, so we've needed the rain. And this is the time of year where you get the psychotic Florida weather.
Yeah, I mean, February is always dry, and March, April, May, it's always pretty wet. So I'm pretty sure this is right on pace for where we're at.
I'm looking at something I should beat you up over, and I just can't bring myself to do it because, I already said you were wrong. You admitted you were wrong, and so oil prices are down, Galen, but that's all we're going to talk about, oil prices. We'll just move on.
Yeah, and I went in and I adjusted my position and just bought more. Because sometimes that's what you have to do.
When it's low, you buy. When it's low, you buy.
But you had a really good day yesterday, didn't you? With the news that the Senate unanimously passed.
Thank you.
Daylight savings time. So that it'll save this position on the clock forever.
Starting next March. They'll still go back to, we'll fall back in the fall.
Yeah.
And then next March when we spring forward, it'll stay that way forever.
Yeah.
If the House
well,
does it.
The House is going to pass it.
Here's the thing.
I like daylight savings time. I don't like the old one.
I like daylight savings time. If we spring forward and stay that way, I'm good.
Exactly.
I like longer days for more time, more part of the year. I like that.
Well, longer evening.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But so here's the
economy.
Here's the problem.
Right? People are more likely to shop in the light than in the dark.
Here's the problem, and you know this to be true. The Senate seems to be a little smarter than the House. Okay?
Well,
and they've all reached across the aisle, and they've made this a unanimous thing. I don't think Nancy Pelosi will do any damn thing to say that she gets along with Republicans at all. So I'm not so sure that this is going to sail through the House like it did the Senate, where it was a unanimous vote in the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah, and the problem is it's from Marco Rubio.
That's a huge issue. That'll be a huge issue.
I mean, if it was from Chuck Schumer or something. And by the way, this may be the best thing that Marco Rubio's ever done. I've been a pretty big detractor of his. Maybe the smartest move he's made. So, yeah.
I think it's time that this happens. I mean, people think it's been like this for a long time. It only happened during World War II that they changed it to daylight savings time. It was 1942.
Right. That's correct.
It was 1942.
That's
so,
and they did it to save fuel, which is what we're supposed to be doing all the time, right?
Yeah, they did it to save fuel because oil prices were crazy.
Yep.
Just like they are now. Oil prices, crazy.
Yep. Well, if the Fed raises the interest rate today, the inflation will hopefully be controlled a little bit. But,
how about
there's some problems.
How about what kind of significance? Speaking of problems in the world, what kind of significance do you put on the war in Ukraine that Congress has invited Zelensky to come address them, and he's coming to talk to the U.S. Congress?
It's not unheard of. I mean, maybe that way the Senate can get a better idea of what Zelensky will take, and if they decide to discuss these, it'll be a public speaking. Nothing will come out of it. The U.S. is in we can't. I don't know what people want us to do besides go out to war with Russia and therefore by proxy to China. There's nothing we can do. So for a lot of reasons, this is a Zelensky / European fight. I mean, we can't do much.
Well, Zelensky said yesterday in a press conference that he would entertain the idea of peace talks with Russia and sign an accord that says that the Ukraine would never join NATO if that was part of the discussion. And Putin said the whole thing was he was worried about the Ukraine joining NATO. So if Ukraine will say they won't join NATO, why is Putin there? Let's get him out of there.
Well, no. And again, so what? And I read that, and I'm like, well, that takes away all of Zelensky's power.
Every bit of it.
So
every bit of his credibility up to this point, he gave away.
Well, what I mean by that is if Zelensky decides, okay, I'm never going to join NATO, well, then Putin, in his mind, again, they're very, very patient.
He wins.
Like, okay, in 10 years, no one will care about Ukraine again, and I'll go take it then.
I'll go take it then. Exactly.
Right? Because if there's no NATO alliance to protect Zelensky, there's a different president in the United States, there's a different prime minister in Germany, or counselor, or whatever they call it, or prime minister in Britain. So no, Poland could look completely different. Then I'll wait 10 years. So what? And out of this, he's going to still keep sections of the Ukraine. He's just not going to take keys. So, I mean, this is an absolute slam dunk win for Putin if this goes through.
Yeah, it is an absolute win for Putin if this actually goes through. So, with oil price, I think if oil prices continue to come down, even if they stop coming down in a free fall, if they just come down to somewhere around $80 a barrel, $85, $90 a barrel.
Not.
But if it does, I think that, again, the world will say, okay, so let's move on from this Ukraine thing. We're back to as normal as we can get with oil prices and everything. What's the next thing we're interested in? I think there's still a very good chance within the next couple, 3 weeks, this could be a back burner issue for everybody except the people of the Ukraine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, the United States and the world has a very short-term attention span.
If our gas gets back to a month and a half ago, when crude oil was selling at around $90 to $100 a barrel, between $90 and $100 a barrel, gas was $3.25. It is now $4.19. If gas gets back to $3.25, $3.20, drops almost $1 within the next couple weeks because oil stays stable at $90 to $100, I think America really moves on from the Ukraine. And what's next? Then we start focusing in on, I guess, the midterm elections really, really hard.
Well, and again, because of the midterm elections looming here in November, that is going to be the fact. That will get gas prices to a reasonable rate. And then, because we know that people will vote according to the gas pump. I mean, that's historical. It's the economy, stupid, and the biggest driver of the economy is fuel prices. And inflation is a huge part of that. So, I think the Ukraine is something that people like to talk about, but there is no answer for how we've helped them without going to war. And again, you're the only person I've talked to that's felt that it's worth going to war over.
I just don't want to see a repeat of, another madman. And I keep saying that, and everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah,
but
what this battle in the Ukraine?
Although I don't think his army was near as adept as Hitler's army was.
No, and that's what this war has proven, is that Russia's army isn't at the strength that we thought it was, and that all he was doing was showing things off so he could sell weapons. I think his army is much worse than anybody had predicted. I don't think anybody predicted it was this soft.
No, I don't think anybody thought it was this soft. I will give you that. I thought they thought that it was a much better army than it's. And by the way, it's showing the rest of the world. Maybe it's U.S. and China, the two strongest countries in the world, and then it's a big gap to everybody else, because Russia was thought to be right there with, China and America, And China or America, neither one, I don't believe, would stall the way this Russian army stalled.
No. I mean, I think we thought Russia was closer. But I think the way they fought and the tactics they've taken have proven they're not.
100%.
You know, I mean, you got Ukrainian kids who are attacking tanks with drones and posting them on TikTok. And again, TikTok is proving to be a really effective propaganda machine for the Ukrainians.
I saw a TikTok video 3 days ago, and it was, the drone attacks you're talking about. I don't know if it's the same ones you're talking about, but there was a Russian tank sitting there, and the one of the personnel of the tank was sitting with the tank door, I guess it's a door, hatch, whatever you want to call it, open, and he was sitting out looking, and they dropped a Molotov cocktail right on top of him with one of those little drones. Dropped a flaming bottle Molotov cocktail, and I'm like, do you know the ingenuity it takes? Because that's a live burning flame around a plastic drone that didn't melt the drone. I mean, there's a lot that had to go in, but they're using everything they can use, and who knows who was flying that drone? Was it a 12-year-old or was it an adult? Who knows?
I think that I saw that one, and I think that one was proven to be just Photoshop. But the one I saw is where they were having the drone attack, and the operator said, "Game over, Russian invaders," and then I'm like, oh, that was kind of funny. And you got to be really careful. It's easy to get completely scammed because they're now able to use footage from video games and stuff like that.
It looks so real
and
sometimes.
Kind of meld it.
It's hard to tell fake. It's hard to tell
yeah.
fake from real. So
yeah,
you're
and the graphics are so. Yeah, that one is fake.
You're telling me the Molotov cocktail one was fake. Man, it looked so good.
Yeah,
too.
the one by a drone was, and then there, like the whole Ghost of Eve.
Well, I know that's
fake.
Fake. I know that was all fake. Yeah. The fighter
that
pilot.
Was all footage from a video game.
Right, exactly. It was all a video game footage. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. More with Galen, after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
You or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Of all the questions you get asked every day, this is one you should not ignore. How much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Not what its current value is, but how much of it will end up in your pockets, not the government's. Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. Make sure you are not overpaying. Keep every dollar you are entitled to. Look, I know it's confusing, it's complicated, and it definitely is not fun. That's why at Pinnacle Retirement Advisors, we offer strategies to help make sure you're not paying more in taxes than your fair share. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Call our team at Pinnacle Retirement Advisors today to get started. 352-320-2060. That's 352-320-2060. Do not do the IRS any favors. 352-320-2060. Firm offers insurance services and may not give tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Are you suffering from neck, back, or leg pain? Go Green CBD Store can help you with holistic, all-natural, lab-tested products that help with pain, stress, anxiety, inflammation, PTSD, and so much more. We stock smokable products, gummies, chocolate, coffee, tea, even pain cream. Yes, we even have treats and oils for your dogs or cats. Go Green CBD is located in the Paddock Mall in the center court. We're open every day. Come in today for a free sample.
New arrivals and new savings are waiting for you at Blockers Furniture. With over 80,000 square feet of the best selection and best prices you can find on furniture, mattresses, home accents, accessories, and more. And with new trucks arriving weekly, Blockers has the best available in-stock selection. Unlike many other furniture companies that will have you waiting for months to get what you want or need, come see everything that Blockers has to offer. Blockers Furniture, 2402 Southwest College Road, next to Hobby Lobby.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday, hump day. Galen Unall joins me as he does every day, brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and JustShip.net. Galen, I saw this incident last night, and I thought, if it had been anybody but this guy, then, nobody would have, it would be leading Sports Center. People would be calling for the person to be suspended for the year. Did you see the ugly moment when LeBron, against a defenseless opponent, just beans him with the basketball as hard as he can throw it? And, a technical was called. But, any other player, I'll give you – and I know that sometimes, your prior bad acts have something to do with it. But what happens if somebody like Rajon Rondo does that? People are calling for him being thrown out of the league for a year. But LeBron does it, and it's barely a blip. It didn't even get that much of a deal on Sports Center. It would have been the lead. That was Meta World Peace. It would have been the lead story on ESPN.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what you're seeing right now is an incredibly frustrated LeBron James' so-called greatness eroding before us, because he just wants to stay in the league until his son gets there in 2 or 3 years. And his skills are eroding, and his team's probably not going to make the playoffs, and he can't be considered great if he doesn't make the playoffs for 2 out of 3 years.
I mean, he is he really? I mean, Kevin Durant's better than he is right now. Kyrie Irving's better than he is right now.
No, there's a ton of guys who are better than him.
And Kyrie dropped 60 last night against Orlando too. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Joel, there's a lot of guys who are better than him, and again, he is. Most of the time, when you get older, you mature, right? You do less.
He's becoming a bigger baby.
Yeah, if that's at all possible, but that's also what happens when you've been entitled your whole life.
Since he was 8 years old, he's been named the king, the chosen one since he was 8 years old.
Yeah, I mean, God granted him with incredibly.
Galen,
the most of it.
Oh, there you are.
Right, he did. I mean, and he made the most of his talents, of his God-given talents. And there are some things he does where he seems to be trying to do the right thing, even though when you look at it a little closer, it's like this is all show. It's like a Hollywood Western stage show where it's just a facade. And I don't like him. As I've said many times, he's a poster child for the millennial athlete, and it's things like this that further that cause.
I mean, they're losing to teams like Phoenix. They lost to the Suns by 29 over the weekend.
Yeah,
29.
the Suns are good.
I know.
I mean, the Suns are a good basketball.
But the Lakers shouldn't lose to anybody by almost 30 if you hear LeBron talk.
Yeah. Oh, that's different. Yeah, I mean, they're not very good. I mean, the Suns are a very good basketball team.
But Frank Vogel will get the blame for this, not LeBron, not LeBron's pick team. All these players are there because LeBron wanted them there.
Sure. Well, they didn't make the trade that they wanted to at the deadline, and that will be LeBron's excuse. And again, let's be very clear. That's exactly what will happen. So what's going to happen next is that LeBron's going to buy part of an NBA franchise.
And destroy it from internally.
No, and then he'll be a player owner, and he'll be the first player owner, and then he'll play with his son. It's going to happen. And that way he'll be the owner while his son is the star of the league.
Yeah, well, that's what he wants. He wants his son to be the star of the league. That's where it's coming.
But the whole time, it'll be about LeBron James being the greatest owner in the history of the world.
Right. Well, no, that's Jerry Jones. Can we just stop? That's Jerry Jones.
No. But the sad thing is LeBron is so insulated in the media. He only allows certain reporters to talk to him, and those reporters know that the only reason I have a job is because I have access to LeBron James. And the media, it's another version of the media being incredibly corrupt. There are no major newspapers anymore, right? So there's only websites, and only certain websites have access to LeBron. And those same quotes are put on everybody else's website. So you're only going to hear what LeBron wants you to hear.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's only anything that comes out of LeBron's camp has been pre-approved by LeBron. He's almost...
Absolutely.
He's the orange man. He's the Donald Trump of the NBA. He's the Vince McMahon of the NBA. Everything goes across his desk before it gets released.
Oh, yeah, I understand your point. I just don't. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to sell shoes and also sell himself as this great person. It's like the commercial he has where he goes back and sees himself, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a cool guy." I mean, come on. I mean, that's the kind of that's his.
It's almost like he has to remind himself that he's great.
No, he doesn't.
No, I said it's almost like that. He makes these commercials where he goes back and he sees his young self and how cool he was to remind him. He's not doing it to remind himself. He's doing it to let everybody else know, hey, remember, I was always the greatest.
Well, it's a humble brag.
It's a chest thumping.
Right.
It's a chest thumping.
Yeah, correct. Like, look how great I am.
Just like Mike. I love Michael Jordan. I think he was the greatest. But Michael, when he got up and did his Hall of Fame speech, that was nothing more than self-aggrandizing and vengeance from Michael Jordan to right wrongs that he saw people did to him while he was in the NBA. And LeBron does the same thing, even to a worse magnitude.
Little different. And I'll say this because we expect that from Michael. Michael's the most competitive human being on the planet.
Yes.
He has the agony of defeat syndrome.
He would fight you over tiddlywinks.
On the planet.
He would fight you over tiddlywinks.
He just doesn't want to lose.
No.
Right? And losing motivates him. And so he's the kind of guy who keeps score. And if you wrong him, he's going to remember. And if there is a time where you can do some self-aggrandizing, it's the Hall of Fame speech.
Well, and he did. He did. We got to take a break.
Yeah.
When we come back on the other side, more with Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and JustShipped.net. We'll be back with more on Ocala Talks after this short timeout.
From the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Peace talks continue under Russian bombs Wednesday. President Zelensky conceded his country will not join NATO as part of the talks. The Ukraine leader says this may have given some hope to peace.
It is difficult but important, as any war ends with an agreement. The meetings continue, and I am informed the positions during the negotiations already sound more realistic.
Multiple prime ministers from the European Union and NATO visited Zelensky Tuesday for a show of solidarity. Slovenian Prime Minister Janez Janša after the meeting.
We are also here to tell you that you're not alone. Your fight is our fight, and together we will prevail. Slava Ukraini.
Glory be to Ukraine. As the Senate progressed a bill to end daylight savings time, it should be noted Americans hated the idea back in the 1970s. The bill now heads to Congress. USA Radio News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Are you a veteran living in Florida? Do you want to earn while you learn? Call 954-434-8220 or visit our website at nsied.org now. Are you a veteran living in Florida who wants training in farming, ranching, and allied services? Are you a veteran living in Florida who wants help with job placement? Call 954-434-8220. North-South Institute Veteran Training Program is a mix of online and hands-on in-person training designed for you to earn while you learn. Once you register for the program, you'll get a stipend of approximately $300 per month for 3 months. And you can get an additional stipend to offset your travel expenses. You can also get another $75 for referring a veteran who completes the program. If you are a veteran living in Florida, call the North-South Institute Veteran Training Program now, 954-434-8220, or visit our website at nsied.org now.
On Saturday, March 19th, the University Air Center will host the Gator Fly-In and Armed Services Appreciation Day. All branches of the military are invited, alongside civilian and law enforcement pilots, to display their aircraft. Vote for the best civilian aircraft and People's Choice Aircraft Contest. Admission and parking are free. There will be helicopter and airplane rides, food trucks, and live music for all to enjoy. Again, that's March 19th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the University Air Center, where you can fly easy from Gainesville nonstop to Atlanta on Delta Airlines, Charlotte, Dallas, and Miami on American Airlines. Enjoy the fly-in, and remember, you can easily fly in and out to 343 destinations around the world in one stop on American and Delta Airlines. Enjoy the Gator Fly-In, and remember to fly easy, fly Gainesville.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
It's bow time. Ever taste something so good you just get hooked? Like the Bo Jangler, the only fish sandwich splashed with Bo's famous seasoning. So we're having a fish fry, Bo Jangle style, spicing up premium fish fillets with the good stuff and slathering them with melty cheese and tangy tartar sauce to hook your taste buds with just one bite. Reel in a Bojangler today, only at Bojangles.
Catch the Bojangler at 4828 Southwest College Road here in Ocala.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. On the phone line with us as he is every morning is Galen Unall from Life South. Brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, JustShip.net, and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Galen, I don't usually do this with you, but this morning it's kind of important to do. On this day in history, you know why this day is significant to guys like you and I, Galen? Because in 1869, Cincinnati attorney Aaron Champion hired former cricket player Harry Wright to organize, manage, and play for the Cincinnati Red Stockings, creating the first professional baseball team, which led to the creation of Major League Baseball. It happened on this day, 1869. The baseball, kind of as we know it, began on this day, March 16th, 1869. The Red Stockings that year went 64-0.
Not bad.
Not a bad, probably the only undefeated team ever in Major League Baseball.
That's a pretty good cricket player he got.
They were still playing underhand then, though, so, scores were like 45 to 40, it was basically slow pitch softball back then.
Yeah.
So,
and the ball wasn't as good.
No. But, and then the Red Stockings quit playing baseball for about 8 years, and then they came back as a team. You know the longest continuous baseball sports franchise in Major League history?
No, I do not.
The Atlanta Braves.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
They played more without breaks than any other team, because Boston, then Milwaukee, then Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves franchise is the longest active professional baseball team in Major League history. Just another reason why the world champs, should be considered great. That's all I'm saying. Although there is no loyalty in baseball. Well, there is no loyalty in baseball, and I'm about to tell you why. If you want to look at why there's no loyalty in baseball, just look at what the Braves did in acquiring Olsen while they were supposedly negotiating in good faith with their free agent franchise player, Freddie Freeman, to try to bring him back to make it his one team that he played for his whole life. And then they just cut the rug out from under him and go, no, we went and got another all-star. Figure it out, Freddie. There's no loyalty in baseball anymore at all.
No, and again, we talked about it yesterday about the DH and everything. We'll see where he signs. I think he'll want to get into camp fairly quickly.
I'm voting for the Red Sox. If he goes anywhere, I vote for the Red Sox.
Well, I think I would agree with that. We've talked about getting that left-handed power hitter. So he'll bat fourth or fifth in the lineup. Maybe third, and then you move Martinez down, and that way you separate Bogart.
And he'll eat the short porch up in Yankee Stadium as he beats the Yankees. Ought to be great.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you can beat the Yankees, feels good. I mean, the world is better with the Yankees.
My favorite two teams in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves and anybody beating the Yankees.
Right.
That's how I feel.
I think most of the world would agree.
Except Yankee fans.
Let's be honest, the people who don't agree aren't really human beings. I mean, they're Yankee.
They're Yankee fans. Exactly.
A lot of people are like, oh, we should treat unvaccinated people differently. No. Just treat Yankee fans differently.
100%.
Those are the people who should go to camps, re-education camps.
To realize that they probably cheated to win. They probably cheated to win some of those 27 World Series.
Sure. And I'd make them watch Don Mattingly highlights because the most overrated player in the history of baseball. The 2004 Red Sox.
Donnie Baseball, the most overrated guy.
Think about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
For any other team, he would be like, who? You'd be like, oh, he's not even Fred McGriff. Think about that. He's not even as good as Fred McGriff.
Crime Dog was pretty good, especially when he was in Atlanta.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I mean, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. A lot better than Mattingly. But people think Mattingly's a better player. He's just not.
You know who I always thought was overrated as a Yankee was Craig Nettles. I just never thought he was,
He was a defensive genius. He couldn't hit.
I just never thought he was.
And he played next to Bucky Dent, and he played in the same infield as Don Mattingly. And Willie Randolph was at second. I mean, I can go through the Yankees lineup just about of every year, but.
And I know
Craig Nettles was a great defensive, but he couldn't hit, and so I was fine with him as a Red.
And I know that
never a threat.
I know that Yankees want to tell you how good Chris Chambliss was, but believe me, he played for the Braves. I know how bad he was.
Well, when Chris Chambliss played for the Yankees, he had a lot more people around him, and he got more fastballs. He could not hit a curveball.
No, and the Braves were terrible. Remember, the Braves, when Chambliss played for the Braves, was the same time that Terry Forrester went on David Letterman.
Correct.
David Letterman called him a fat guy.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's
well, people always say, when I say I'm a Braves fan, people go, "You're a front runner," and I'm like, "Look, pal, I suffered through the late '70s and the '80s, where I would go to Braves games and pay $3 for left field bleacher seats and sent 3 rows off the third base dugout because there was the announced attendance would be. And today the announced attendance is 14,637, and you'd look around and you could count 1,300 people total.
Sure.
Because nobody was in the
Sure, I'm
stand.
with you.
But that's when the Braves were losing 110, 111 games a year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It was not good. It was not. Chuck Tanner from Pittsburgh fame was our man. And then, by the way, we had the greatest manager in Major League Baseball history, if you ask a Yankee. We had the greatest manager in Major League Baseball history. Couldn't win more than 70 games a year in Joe Torre.
You know, I'm a big believer in that coaching matters. I don't know if coaching matters.
Not in baseball.
Even though it seems to. You just have to have a guy who makes sure everybody gets along. And
pitching coach may be. Pitching coach may matter.
No. Because you don't want to overuse that bullpen, I guess. But you got to keep the guys happy and loose. And that's the only one.
So you need a jester then to be the manager, basically. Just keep everybody. So Kevin Millar would be a great manager.
No, because you have to have the respect of the team.
Yeah, well.
And that's what Joe Torre had the respect of.
What do you think about
in that locker room?
You're the guy I could ask. It was announced yesterday the Red Sox team for NESN will include Kevin Youkilis and Kevin Millar. You like that grouping? You think that's going to be fun in the booth?
Well, it's not every game, A. And B, I don't know how many games they're going to do together. They're going to do the road games when Eckersley doesn't go, because Eckersley doesn't like to fly. He does all the home games.
He's terrible.
Eckersley's the greatest. He's fantastic.
He's terrible.
He's fantastic. I'd take Eckersley over every other color commentator on the planet.
I don't know. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward.
Nuts if you don't think.
I'm looking forward to Millar just to see what may come out of his mouth.
No. Oh, I mean, he does the same act everywhere he goes.
All I know is he goes. Don't let us win Game 4. What I loved is don't let us win Game 4. You know, say what you want about Kevin Millar. Say what you want about him. He will always go down as the guy that said, "Don't mess around and let us win Game 4."
Well, he's the guy who drew a walk.
He did.
The greatest walker in the planet.
Well,
yeah.
You know, and
and let me be very clear.
Dave Roberts is the best base stealer ever, and Dave Roberts the best base stealer ever.
And I want to be very clear. If I saw Kevin Millar right now, I would. If I'm on the interstate, I turn around and I go get him and I give him the biggest hug possible.
Well, of course you
would.
I'd
probably start crying.
And by the way,
Dave Roberts is there. Poppy, I just kneel at his feet and kiss his feet.
By the way, the most underrated of that entire group for his contribution to that 04 championship, Kevin Youkilis.
It was a late season call up.
And was amazing.
No, he wasn't. Oh, come on.
Oh.
Come on.
He had that
That's
one
pretty
game.
funny
He went
right
3
there.
for 3.
He didn't even play in the playoffs.
I know. What I loved is when announcers would talk about how the call up happened and everything. I was watching the documentary and they're butchering his name, Yikeless, Ucalis. And he's a bench player, and they talked about how he's got much promise coming into his career and everything. And they couldn't even. I was like, you can't even pronounce the guy's name. You're just doing filler time now.
No,
that's all you're doing here.
No, I mean, there's no. He didn't even play it.
Euclid, most underrated Red Sox ever.
No.
You know who by the way, you'll respect this. You know who my favorite Red Sox player is ever?
No.
You'll never. I give you 100 guesses. You'd never come up with it.
All right.
And it was because I was a small kid, and just the way he was erratic on the pitching mound did it for me. Louis Tiant, my favorite Red Sox ever.
Sure.
Louis would turn his back on home plate. Louis would turn his back on home plate and break eyesight with the batter.
Well, he created that timing thing. And,
oh yeah.
And it's used today.
Between
Tion, it was every kid who was playing baseball
did that spin. Oh yeah.
Tion.
Oh, every kid
tried their best.
Or they did the chicken wing. They did the chicken wing pop of Joe Morgan.
Yeah, God. Joe Morgan, greatest second baseman ever play.
Without a doubt. Done. Period. The end. Period.
I mean, you've got to put. I mean, Jackie Robinson's in the conversation.
No, he's not. Not with Joe Morgan.
Jackie Robinson.
Not with Joe Morgan.
But Joe Morgan's the greatest second baseman of all time.
And you know, Cubs fans right now are yelling, "Sandberg, stop it! You're not even close."
No,
not even close. Roberto Alomar was better than Sandberg. Stop it.
Yeah, that's correct. Then Roberto Alomar died in a plane crash, so we don't know how his career ended. But I know how Joe Morgan's ended.
Clemente died in a plane crash. Clemente died in a plane crash.
Yeah.
Sorry. And he played outfield. We got to take a break. We'll be back more with Galen after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity, and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
The Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant, a true New York-style diner in Ocala. Try our breakfast special of 2 eggs served with home fries or hash browns and toast for just $4.49. We have an all-you-can-eat catfish special daily for $14.99, and Thursday through Sunday we have prime rib. Happy hour for food starts at 2 p.m. The Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant is located at 5400 Southwest College Road in the Heathbrook Commons Plaza. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We will see you soon.
Everyone knows Bob Wines is famous for plants and trees and everything garden, especially his world-famous camellias. That's why it's been called Bob Wines Camellia Garden for over 70 years. But look around. There are lots of other specials and deals like you won't find anywhere else. Bob has top-quality red garden mulch. Get 3 big bags for just $12. Or his famous no-float pine straw mulch, a huge bale for just $5.99. Inside the greenhouse, all Woodstock chimes are 10% off. Plus, all the fertilizers and the stuff you need to make your garden grow in one place and priced right. Don't forget, you buy 1 tree at Bob's low price and get a second tree just like it for half price. Go ahead, look around at all the color, then check out the exciting things happening for spring. Bob Wines Camellia Gardens and Nursery, Southeast Ocala, 38th Street, in the same blooming place for 70 years.
Hey there, Congresswoman Kat Kamak here, your conservative voice in our nation's capital. Tax filing season is underway, and while the IRS works through its millions of backlog cases from prior years, our office is here to help you navigate the IRS. From delayed tax returns, missing stimulus payments, and so much more, you can reach out to our team at camac.house.gov for help. I'm Kat Kamak, and it is my honor to serve you.
This ad is paid for by official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, Galen Unall from Life South joins us. Thanks to the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, JustShip.net, and Penn Flooring. Hey, by the way, for those that are asking what's going on in the background, people have texted, what's that humming noise in the background? That's an airplane just outside the window right here on the tarmac that's powering up and heating up, getting ready to take off. That's all. You know, one of those minor disturbances that gets picked up by the microphone because the windows are not soundproof. So one of the little things I have to deal with, Galen, planes taking off and landing. You know, fire trucks, construction equipment, and planes. It's every guy becomes a little kid when he sees those things.
It's true.
Hey,
absolutely true.
I'm going to read you a tweet that was given by somebody, and I'm going to ask your opinion on it. The tweet says, "I have given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level. That will not change wherever I take my next snap. Whatever happens, I just want to say thank you to the fans who truly embraced who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people. Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story, and we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our lives. Sincerely, Baker Reagan Mayfield." This is a tweet he released yesterday after it was shown that the Cleveland Browns are making a serious bid to bring in Deshaun Watson as their next quarterback. And if that doesn't work out, if for some reason they're not able to land Deshaun, they've alienated their franchise quarterback or a guy who was drafted to be their franchise quarterback. The damn Browns are just the Browns. They can't get away from themselves.
Yeah, I agree with them in that Baker Mayfield is not the answer. He's not the long-term.
And he's not as good as Deshaun Watson. We can agree with that.
Well, no, I disagree with that. I think this is a giant step backward. Here's
Oh, wow.
A guy who didn't play at all last year.
Has
And
legal
before that,
trouble
he
still
was
hanging
injured.
over his head.
Yeah, he reportedly raped somewhere between 30 and 45 women.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, I think this is a terrible decision. Absolutely terrible.
I
Now,
think it's
granted,
horrible.
Baker Mayfield is who are we talking about the other day? Is he's better than Kyle Trubisky.
Trubisky,
But,
yeah.
Trubisky. But okay, good luck.
He's going to get you
Go get him,
he can
Browns.
get you 8-9 wins a year. He's not going to. I don't think he's a Super
Deshaun
Bowl.
Watson, what's Deshaun Watson ever done?
Well, yeah, it's a good point because that defense has really been the stalwart of the stalwart stud of the Houston Texans has been their defense always. So I just think that and this is a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. You know that with the crotch grabbing that he done when he got angry at the bowl game and everything. He's a guy that his emotions are out there, and this doesn't sound like that there's a way to come back from this if you're the Cleveland organization, in my mind.
Well, and again, don't forget there's several other teams that are talking to him, including your Falcons.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
I mean,
We had him before. It's called Michael Vick. We've had him before.
So
Actually, Vick
when
was
you
better
look
than
at his-
Deshaun Watson.
But he's been in the league since 2017.
Yes.
Oh, man, people are in love with this guy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I would stay as far away from him as possible. All he is a coach killer.
Well, Baker's in his 5th year of his rookie deal. He's guaranteed $18 million this year. Now, Deshaun is in the third year of his extension, where he will be paid $40.4 million this year.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow, $40.4 million.
It's crazy.
And the Browns just got Amari Cooper with a $40 million cap hit. I mean, how are they going to spend this guy? I didn't know the Browns had that kind of money.
Apparently they do.
Apparently they do. Hey, Galen, when you were in high school or when you were in college, did you ever do the limo thing to try to be impressive? You and your buddies get together and try to be big ballers, shot callers, and get the limo or anything?
No.
Here's how weak my group was. We would go every Friday and Saturday night. We would go when we were 18, 19 years old before we all went to college. We would go get one of our buddies that was 21 or 22 to rent a room at the Embassy Suite. And like 20 or 25 of us will pile in this one Embassy Suite room.
Sure,
and
I'm with you.
we would then take the Embassy Suite K-car limo to the club.
Nice.
That's how big ballers we were. The K-car limo that was part of Embassy Suite's shuttle service.
And you're part of the reason why you can't rent a hotel room now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we would pile 25 of us in there. It was ridiculous. Well, the reason I ask this is there's a stretch limo, the American Dream. It just earned the coveted title of the world's longest car by Guinness World Records. It comes in at 100 feet, 1.5 inches. 75 of your friends could be in it. It'll accommodate 75 people. It has 26 wheels, a large waterbed, a swimming pool complete with a diving board, a hot tub, a bathtub, a 3-hole mini golf course, and a helipad.
Wait, a golf course?
Yeah, a mini golf course.
Doesn't matter. You had me a golf course.
Yeah, it was restored from the body of the previous record holder, taking multiple years of hard work and skill to compete. And here's why I'm bringing it up. Its home base is in Orlando. We can rent this thing, Galen.
Man, I'm all in.
It's got it's got 2 V8 engines, one at the front and one at the rear that powered its car.
Oh, I would guess so, because it's got the mini golf, and I'm hoping it's an open bar in there.
How you got a pool deep enough to have a diving board in a limousine? That's what I want to know.
That's a fair question.
But
you're not getting under an overpass.
But we can rent this limo, and it's an old Cadillac. It's a Cadillac they've converted. And when you see this thing, I mean, it's just ridiculous, is what it is. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's 100 feet long.
Awesome.
And let me read to you again. It has a waterbed, a swimming pool with a diving board, a hot tub, a bathtub, a 3-hole mini golf course, and a helipad. Because, hey, people, you may have to get somebody because they have alcohol poisoning from partying too much. You may need life flight to land on the limousine to transport them to the hospital.
That's pretty great, isn't it?
A helipad.
I love it.
And it's stationed right here in Orlando. I think we need to check into that.
I think you do. I think they need to run ads, and we need to do some trade.
I'm down for it. I'm down.
Where do you want to go?
How does it turn right or left? That's my question. The roads aren't going to handle a 100-foot car.
Very, very careful.
Very, very carefully. But it's Cadillac. GM's happy with the record. GM's happy with the record because it's Cadillac.
We'll take you wherever you want as long as it's in a straight line.
As long as it's in a straight line. That's it. We can only run on the turnpike back and forth. We can't do anything. And we have to back up because we can't turn around, so we have to back up on the turnpike.
There you go. Exactly.
When I saw it had a mini golf course and a helipad, that just right there, and it was in Orlando, I was like, we got to do that. We got to rent that just because.
How do we not have that in our lives right now?
Galen, we got about 20 seconds. Where is the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, Bloodmobile today, we're actually at the RV park right there in Silver Spring, so come check us out there. We're picking up all the Canadians, and you can join us right on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard. Give the gift of life. Donate blood.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bye, all.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
As President Zelensky will speak to both houses of Congress this morning around 11 a.m. Eastern, it's being reported a request for him to speak at the Japanese parliament has been submitted. The prime ministers of Poland, the Czech Republic, and Slovenia traveled to the embattled Ukrainian capital of Kyiv to meet with President Zelensky on Tuesday in a show of support for Ukraine. Slovenia Prime Minister Janez Janša.
We are also here to tell you that you're not alone. Your fight is our fight, and together we will prevail.
Almost a year after 13-year-old Adam Toledo was killed by a Chicago police officer in Little Village, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox